daughter-in-law has atrocious table manners. Why, she eats peas on her knife. Last night at dinner, my son was so embarrassed, he dropped a saucer full of coffee.
Last night in my studio, the model, she took off all her clothes, and I did her in watercolors. Tonight, I'm going to paint her.
There was a Love Rock festival on campus. 5,000 students were really grooving. They're going to try it again next week, only this time with real rocks.
Mr. Roman, you know that rumor has it that Russia plans to highlight its next May Day celebration by sending Premier Kosygin into space.
Well, that's what I call getting rid of a headache with a capsule.
I believe the church should update its terms, but I do find it hard to call the collection plate the bread basket.
You have a figure that could turn a man into a savage.
How does it affect you?
Horace believes in separate vacations, and we're going to take one just as soon as he separates from his wife.
Byron, I read where Georgia's governor, Lester Maddox, has learned to ride a bicycle backwards.
That's easy for him, Dan. He's been backpedaling for years.
I say, Goldie, did you know that the British have lost most of their colonies?
Well, poor baby, did you look behind the couch?
You know, getting through to Goldie is a little like trying to sell a Look magazine subscription to Mayor Aliotto.
Say, a publisher asked me to do a book on free verse, and I said nothing doing. If I don't get paid, I don't write a line.
My boyfriend shows me how much he loves me over and over. Last week, he took me up in his plane and showed me over Cleveland, over Pittsburgh, over Philadelphia twice. A neat coat, a box stole, and 2 diamond earrings. That's a whole lot of love.
Tell me, Mr. Rosmenko, what do you think about these protest marches?
Well, all this talk from protest marches.
Yes.
Well, in old country, we have protest marches every day.
Really?
They have to march and they protest about it, but quietly.
There's just been an increase in rates at maternity hospitals and funeral parlors. No matter how you look at it, they're gonna get you. Coming and going.
I have developed a new art form. I cover my entire body with different colored paints and throw myself at the canvas. Last night I missed. Went right out the window. By the time I stopped sliding, I had painted a Greyhound bus, 2 cups, and a taco stand.
And daughter-in-law are very inconsiderate. Why, they play the television set so loud, I can't overhear a word they say.
If you believe so strongly in reincarnation, then why not make out a will, leaving everything to yourself?
Mr. Rosmenko, in the old country, do the people understand the policies of your leaders?
Oh, Mr. Roman, in all country, we got credibility.
Credibility?
The same. And the government doesn't believe anything the people say, which is all right, because the people aren't allowed to say too much.
Jeremy, will the morale of the British sailor be affected by this cancellation of their daily rum ration?
Well, certainly. I mean, how would you like to stand on the deck of a ship singing yo-ho-ho and a can of cream soda?
Listen, I hear 8 more Green Berets were rounded up today. 7 Girl Scouts holding out on their cookies and a somewhat eccentric French artist.
In the Bolshevik motto, from each according to his ability, to each according to his need. Unfortunately, his ability can't keep up with our needs.
Sammy, you know they're thinking of making the draft into a lottery.
Yeah, now instead of saying greetings, your draft notice will read, "Congratulations, baby, you just won a free all-expense trip paid to Vietnam."
You know, I think a man should try to watch his weight.
How about a woman?
No, thanks. I'm trying to give him up.
But, you know, I heard there are alligators in the New York sewer system.
Yes, but that's a rumor, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe, but do you want to be the one to go out there and check it out?
You know, Sam, they won't lower the voting age. I guess they figure, what does an 18-year-old fighting in Vietnam know about national issues?
You know, Goldie, I don't know if you've thought about this, but the Russians are having terrible trouble with their Chinese border.
Well, why don't they tell them to just pay his rent or get out? When I first came to Hollywood, I had a job as a car hop, but I had to give it up. It was too tiring hopping in and out of all those cars.
Last week, I painted a still life of a bag of garbage. It was so realistic that this morning my mother threw it out.
Hey, you know, Sam, recently a judge in California went to a nightclub to observe 2 topless dancers.
Well, I guess you gotta say he was looking for a fair shake.
There's nobody here.
Surprise!
I went to the artist ball last week and danced with my favorite models. I was a sensation. No one has ever seen anyone tango with 2 apples, a bull, and a daffodil.
Jeremy.
Yes?
Over here in America, we call a man who is short-sighted myopic.
Yes.
What do you call such a man in England?
Prime Minister.
Boris' wife called last night and demanded a divorce. He was so upset he could hardly get back to sleep. I mean, he told me about it this morning.
The Lord created heaven and earth in just 6 days. If he hadn't rested on the Sabbath, he might even have finished Burbank.
Last week, I auditioned for the producer of a nude play. Now, I know why I had to take my clothes off, but I still don't understand why he did. Not to mention the ushers, the parking lot attendants, and a cute little old cleaning man who was too much.
My daughter-in-law wrote her mother and told her that I was a meddling old busybody. Now, I never would have known if I hadn't steamed that letter open.
There's nothing like Thanksgiving with relations.
Oh, and to think I wasted the whole day with my family.
Rosmenko?
It's good seeing you.
What's the national sport in your country?
Well, in old country, we no longer have it national sport.
Oh?
Yeah, the government sent her to Siberia.
Oh,
Hey, Goldie, you want a cookie?
Teresa!
No, you know what? You're much fatter this year than you were last year.
I got married.
I know, that's why I like you. Listen, Teresa, do you think they should continue the poverty program?
Don't ask me. I never watch ABC.
Yeah, I don't want to wait till Thursday. Let's go to the party now.
Yeah, you're right. You're all invited. Come on, folks. You're invited too.
All my new hairpieces are driving Fang to drink. Every time I flip my wig, he pops his cord.
My daughter-in-law is such a sneak. Yesterday, behind my back, she changed the lock on her diary.
Some of my flock come to church Sunday mornings. Others prefer to sleep. Unfortunately, most of them do both.
Goldie?
Yes?
Are you a fatalist?
No, I figure, Dan, that I say if a thing is going to happen, it's going to happen, and there's nothing you can do.
That's what you say.
You know, girls today are really strange. You know, we walk around all the time wearing practically nothing in front of guys, and then for a change, we go home and tease our hair.
Mr. Roman, you got to be more careful. You look it sloppy.
Yeah, well, I would like to look as well as you do. You know, in America, we have an unemployment problem. Is it the same thing in your country?
Well, in old country, is no got it for unemployment's problem. Everybody works.
Oh.
Or else.
I'm just furious. A year ago, I painted the battleship New Jersey on my favorite model. Now the ship's been decommissioned, and I had to put her chest in mothball.
Jeremy.
Oh, Dan, yes,
I hate to bother you, but I wanted to ask you, in England, isn't it true you have a county of Sussex and a county of Essex? Don't you also have a county of Middlesex?
Yes, but they don't bother anybody.
Boris' wife and I have the something in common. We're both thinking of leaving him.
How would you like to make a movie with me?
Oh, I'd love to. Do you have any influence with the studio?
No, but I've got my own self-operating camera.
My boyfriend is so sweet. I thought he loved me because I wore mini skirts and see-through blouses. But he said he'd love me just as much if I didn't wear them at all.
I think it's deplorable that movies with so much sex are so popular. I mean, how do they expect a person my age to stand in line so long?
Well, 2 out of 1 ain't bad, you know.
Do you think integration has made any marked advance in the Deep South?
Oh, yes, indeed it has, Dan. I read where an all-white school just admitted a number of black children do exist.
Boris has always believed that the truth will out. Well, last night his wife found out the truth, and guess what? Now he's out!
You sneak up on me all the time.
You know what? I've been using a mouthwash for lovers.
Does it work?
Oh, well, I don't know. I've been so darn busy gargling.
My daughter-in-law is so sweet. She gave me my Christmas present early, a set of matched luggage, already packed.
Mr. Rosmenko. Mr. Rosmenko, you dancing fool, you.
Keep talking. I'm listening. I'm listening.
In America, we have a ghetto problem I'd like to talk about with you.
Oh, certainly, Mr. Roman. Well, in all country, we got it ghetto problem, too.
Oh.
Get out of army, get out of party, get out of country. Quick! It's a big joke in Bialystok.
You know, Pam, it's really a shame all that trash lying around in our public parks.
Yeah, why don't they all get up and get jobs?
Sweden is now having a crime problem with the American military defectors they've admitted. You might say it's a case of Sweden getting its just deserters.
So many people attend the new drive-in churches. We need a new commandment. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's parking place.
You know, when I started in movies, it was quite difficult for an actress to get big parts. But now it's just a simple operation.
But for the first time next year, it looks like Dick's late again. Sounds like he's at the party. Come on, you're all invited.
This reminds me of New Year's Eve at home when Uncle Dino comes over. At 12 o'clock, we ring out the old. And at 12:30, we ring out Uncle Dino.
I enjoy New Year's Eve parties, but I know it's time to leave when people say they dig my groovy turtleneck.
Would you mind if I got familiar?
Of course I'd mind.
Good. That's just what I like, a girl who minds.
Mr. Rosmenko, do workers in your country get any time off for holidays?
Of course, Mr. Roman. Christmas, they only work half a day, 12 hours, and the other 12 hours, they get a chance to partovate around with the Holojazes.
The new year comes to Burbank. Nobody celebrates it. They just feel terribly sorry for it.
You know, with current military scandals involving the sale of guns, supply store rake-offs, and service club profiteering for the new year, maybe the Army could open a graft board.
Boris and I got so wrapped up in each other last New Year's Eve. Well, we didn't know whether to call the Justice of the Peace or an osteopath.
Good heavens, you know, I didn't have a noisemaker.
Well, you do now.
Year's Eve when my son and daughter-in-law told me that they were going to ring out the old. How was I supposed to know they meant me?
Happy New Year, Dan.
Happy New Year, Goldie.
You know what I like best about New Year's?
Haven't the foggiest.
That song.
What song's it?
May old Lang Syne be forgot.
That's a great song. That's not really the way it goes, Goldie.
Well, I don't want to do anymore.
You know, Dan, my cousin is saving herself for her husband.
That's very nice, Nancy.
Mm-hmm. Well, he doesn't think so.
Oh?
No. See, they've been married for 10 years.
Well, you're not doing anything else. Why do you say we go to the party?
Oh, I forgot to tell you, the party's been canceled.
No kidding. Why's that?
Well, I'm having the place painted. You want to see?
Yeah.
Come on. Gotcha.
Come on, you're all invited. Gotcha.
Well, we'll be late for the party, and I want to have another look at that painting.
Already this year, baby doctors have found that the birth control pill produces a serious side effect. The medical term is loss of income.
My son-in-law made a complete fool of himself at our New Year's Eve party. He passed out cold right in the middle of my striptease.
With so many mobile homes these days, they're planning a mobile cemetery. Now, when you go, you keep on going.
Rena, dear, I say if we must have riots, let them be in Boston. After all, we do get a much better class of people there.
In our society, folks object to people living together before they get married. And after they get married, they object to living together.
New Year's Eve, Boris and I were talking of getting married and spending 2 wild weeks in Bermuda. Or was it spending 2 wild weeks in Bermuda and then getting married?
Mr. Roman, you know, in the old country, we make it New Year's Revolution.
No, you mean resolution. You don't know our language.
Mr. Roman, we make revolution. You don't know our country.
If I go up to your apartment, will you promise not to try anything funny?
Don't you worry, I'll be in no mood for jokes.
Hey, kids, my girlfriend and I went to a wild masquerade party. She went as Goliath, and I went as a Sistine Chapel. By 12 o'clock, she was stoned, and I was plastered.
Well, I'll say one thing about the pill. It certainly takes a lot of worry out of going to college.
Dan, what would you say is the most significant advance in automobile safety in the past few years?
Ralph Nader.
Miss Goldstone, you know, it's your government spent over $24 billion to send a man to the moon. It doesn't make it sense.
It sure doesn't. I mean, you know, sooner did you get him up there than they brought him right back again.
Jeremy, in England, do you have a blood bank?
No, Dan, but we do have a Liverpool.
I don't think my boyfriend loves me. Last night I asked him if he thought I had a good figure, and he spent the whole evening groping for an answer. We were on the phone at the time.
You know, in the Army, there aren't many sergeants you can drink under the table. But there are a few you can pay under the table.
At the last party I went to, there was a 300-pound girl wearing a see-through blouse. You could see anything you like. Trouble is, you didn't like anything you could see.
I needed a flu shot, so I asked the doctor to inoculate me where nobody could see it. So, tonight I'm going up to his apartment.
Boris really likes my new apartment. Everything except the dishwasher. Boris says he has got to go.
Goldie, what? Now that I have your attention.
Spasm.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
What do you, I forgot the question. What do you think of the population explosion?
Well, you know what? Doesn't bother me a bit because I wear earplugs.
Well, kids, a terrible thing happened. I just dropped my latest statue of Moses receiving the stone tablets. Do you realize I broke all 10 commandments at once?
It's easy to prepare for Judgment Day. Just think of Bible studies as cramming for your finals.
Let's kiss and make up.
Make up what?
Well, I don't know. Maybe the kiss will give us some ideas.
My son has a perfect right to complain about that mess around the house. I told him not to marry her.
You know, Mr. Rosmenko, you dancing fool, you. Do you know that in America people are free to protest and criticize our government?
Oh, Mr. Roman, it's same thing in old country.
Oh, yeah?
Free to protest and criticize your government. Oh.
Say, Jeremy, would you like to go back to England with an American wife?
Well, I'd be delighted, as long as it was all right with her American husband.
You know, if the number of Israeli planes the Arabs claim to have shot down is accurate, Egypt has got to be bombed by its own Air Force.
When my sister told me that her son had been cheating in school, well, I was unspeakably shocked. I didn't even know he was married.
I hear a lot about these protests, and I say we ought to get behind our president. I mean, after all, if these protesters get violent, I want somebody in front of me.
Oh, my feet wouldn't stop. I just came from the 6th annual Hugh O'Brien Acting Award competition.
Oh, yeah? What happened?
Oh, he lost again.
What's this matter? You look a little upset.
Well, so would you, old smarty eyes. I just paid a $50 fine for overparking.
Oh, pshaw.
No, for parking.
No, you don't get a $50 fine for overparking.
For parking over a policeman's motorcycle, you
Over a
do.
policeman. Well, sometime maybe you'll tell us the gory details. Right now it's time for the party, and you're all invited.
You too, Officer Guthrie, you little beauty, you.
It won't help.
I hear now in Russia, teachers have to sign a loyalty oath stating that they are not now and never have been a member of the Democratic or Republican parties.
I know of a seminary where the students held a kneel-in. The bishop broke it up by spraying them all with holy water.
My son and daughter-in-law have had their problems during their marriage. They've had their fights and their quarrels, and they have come close to divorce many, many times. But I think maybe it'll be better during the second week.
Mr. Rosmenko, you dancing fool. Hey, how's the housing problem in your country?
Well, it's fantastical good. Everywhere you look is blocks and blocks of one with 2 family houses, each one occupation by 7, 9, 12 families in the daytime. In the nighttime, it gets a little crowded.
On the way home last night, I stopped by the supermarket to pick up a few things. A 6-pack of beer and the cutest little guy behind the counter. Adorable!
You know, on the Vietnam issue, I've got a friend who says he's a chicken hawk. He wants us to fight on to victory, but to do it without him.
Do you know that back in the horse and buggy days, the average speed in downtown New York was 11 miles an hour? Now it's down to 7.
But that's staggering.
No, that's driving. Staggering is a little quicker.
Goldie, do you know there are lots of schools experimenting with teaching machines?
Teaching machines?
Yes.
I mean, really? How can you teach a machine to work and talk?
I want you to know that before I come up to your apartment, I am a lady.
Do you think for 1 minute I'd invite you up there if you were the blocking back for the Los Angeles Rams?
We girls at the club decided very tastefully that we should know more about the Negro problem. So we formed a committee to watch the Leslie Uggam show.
I think my boyfriend's gonna buy me a dog. He said he'd come over tonight and we'd do a little petting.
You know, you Americans are terribly ingenious. I just heard about a new toy car, so real that a child winds up the little motor and it immediately pollutes his sandbox.
The Vice President Spiro Agnew recently talked about ideological eunuchs straddling the political fence. Doesn't he realize children might have been listening to that speech? Oh, my goodness.